Before, I don't think you'll get the most bang for your buck with Star Fox Zero at its current price. It's still $50 digitally, it's how I bought it. So I'd look for a cheap physical copy if you can find it, which seems to hover around the $30 to $40 mark. I mean, those also come with Star Fox Guard, and they're all bundled with the physical copies of the game. I'll be frank, didn't spend much time on this because it's tower defense and nothing but. And there's nothing wrong with tower defense, I just like my console games to have a little more substance, I guess that's one way of putting it. You defend your mining facility from these unrelenting but oh so adorable robots by shooting them the hell and back with your heavily armed video cameras. Shit, if only I was this equipped in a Five Nights at Freddy's game. But I mean, it's tower defense. You switch between your camera feeds to check every corner of the base and deal with the threat appropriately. If they manage to get to the center, the game's over, and as the game goes on, the robots start finding new ways to fuck with your camera feed. You play about an hour of it, and you've seen the entire game. It's a genre more suited for the handheld market, I think, not something I'm prepared to spend hours of my time sitting on the couch for. It's like around 10 to 15 bucks online, so digitally you're paying $60 altogether for both Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. So again, look for the physical copies of this. But I can't say for certain what the future of Star Fox holds. It's a shame. I can see the amount of hope they had for Zero. They went above and beyond in marketing. They made that little cartoon to get people excited for it. It was the return of a franchise long thought dead since the mid-2000s. But from what I've seen, Star Fox Zero didn't sell very well. It sold miserably in Japan. And while North America and Europe fared better, numbers were still low because it was released on a console that, let's not kid ourselves, is pretty much dead and has been on the decline for a couple of years now. At the risk of dating this video immediately, where in God's name is that NX reveal? And you see, if I bring mention to it, then I'm sure it will happen within the next few days. At least I fucking hope so. Now, to the newbie who has yet to play a Star Fox title, could I suggest starting with Star Fox Zero? I would say, yeah, you totally can. I mean, you either start with the Star Fox 64 with regular controls or the Star Fox 64 with motion controls. It's your choice. Just make sure you get this at a reduced price because I think it's worth just as much as the N64 title, which goes for around $10 nowadays, not full retail value. The Star Fox series are Nintendo classics, even if the later years were sort of off the rocker. The end-all be-all title for me is undoubtedly Star Fox 64, so out of all of those, play that one first. I think trying out and enjoying everything else hinges on whether you're willing to see how the universe extends beyond 64 or not, if you happen to love what you played there. Except Star Fox Adventures, because besides having Star Fox in the title, it really has nothing to do with anything, and it isn't a Star Fox game. And I can't recommend the original on the SNES today because of how dated it is functionally, and besides nostalgia, there's just really no reason to go back to it. They're not the deepest games out there, but since day one, they were never trying to be, much to the detriment of this game. I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard not to come off as an ass with this one. If you enjoy soaring through the great beyond by sea, by land, or by air, or by space, Star Fox are your pilots. So give it a try one day and let me know what you think in the comments or on my Twitter page. So what now? I've snuck past the Metal Gear series, ripped my heart out by the end of the Mother series, and I'm finally back from my vacation on the Lilat system. That last one made me feel a bit nostalgic. I like that feeling. But what else have I tackled before that can elicit that sort of response, I wonder? Of course! See you guys next time. Fuck! Fuck! You gotta play that one because that stage is really pretty good. Oh shit! But I wonder if it caught it. Get the same mind-numbing bullshit during the next stage. You can use any character from the available 5 at any time to finish a level. It's pretty exhilarating to try and keep the speed going. You know, see how much you can do without ever stopping. It's a quality I share with a lot of Sonic games I enjoy out there. You won't be able to experience much in multiplayer if you decide to ignore everything, but say you want to get those trading cards and whatnot. I mean, multiplayer is not a game seller for sure, but it's not too bad. You select one of the robots you unlocked and race against your opponent for 3 laps in one of many racetracks you unlock as you collect more shit. By itself, they're harmless races to the finish to see who can finish all 3 laps the fastest, nothing you haven't seen before. But diehard Sonic fans will probably see these as a bare-bones copy of the Sonic Rivals formula, without all the power-up fuckery. It could be the camera angle, they are quite similar. But racing against a fellow Sonic player is no less intense when you both bring your best to the table.
My man, what are you wearing?
Sanzaru Games trimmed the fat big time with Fire and Ice, and you know what? I've garnered some respect for the development team because of that. It really felt like they listened to feedback. But beneath all that unnecessary fat they did away with lies a game that, yes, is not all bad. It's perfectly fine, but it gives you very little reason to go back to it. The collectibles are strictly a numbers game. Level design is streamlined, yes, but offers no real multiple routes to your one destination. It's finished in about 6 hours, doesn't have much in boss fights, definitely could use more of those. As a handheld Sonic game, you can easily spend a few minutes of your time to select a stage, complete it in no time, and move on. But Fire and Ice is certainly a one-and-done sort of game. At $40, that's a bit up there. So, wait for a price drop.
I asked you a question. You're just going to ignore me.
Shit, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. And where's my Smash Bros. Title card?
My bad. Thanks for your help, PK.
Nah, no problem. So, what's next on your agenda?
You know what? I was thinking of going back to Sonic.
Sonic? I thought you already did all the games.
Why does everyone keep saying, like, the handhelds, man? The handhelds.
Like Sonic Free Riders?
No, not like Sonic Free. Is that on a handheld?
What do you mean?
What? The Game Gear stuff. Sonic 1 to 2, Sonic Advance, Sonic Rush, all of that.
Oh. And then Sonic Free Riders, right?
So, I think it's time we give Sonic the Hedgehog another visit. And, I want to cover a lot of stuff this time. It's a new venture. La la. You guys ready for another Sonic Marathon? I think I'm ready for another Sonic Marathon. But I will need some prep time for this one. And the next video I'm doing is not necessarily Sonic. I'm heading back to the FNAF world, Five Nights at Freddy's universe, because Sister Location just came out. I gotta look at that. I'm gonna give Elliot a call and see what he's doing. And then afterwards, I'm heading back to the Blue Blur, Sonic the Hedgehog. And once again, a big special thanks to my buddy PK Sparks here. Why don't you give yourself a big plug on this shoulder there?
I'm happy to be on the channel. I've been wanting to do something with Johnny for a while, so happy to be here for you guys. If you guys enjoyed my commentary, you guys want to check out some Mario content, check my channel out, youtube.com/thathotness. I'm doing Super Mario Star Road. I'm doing Paper Mario Color Splash. I'm doing Super Mario Chaos Edition. Basically, if it's Mario and Nintendo, I probably do it.
And for all who's watching, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night, and take care.
Bye.
Learning from past mistakes. Ace bandages underneath the sports tape. Gloves. So none of it can mess with my fucking hands. Unfortunately, I didn't get every bit of the area. Sometimes, shit like that can happen. And I end up pulling some hair out anyway. But look how fast I'm doing it. No pain, no gain. I'm learning from my mistakes too, you see. Case of Baby, also one of the most unsettling.
The cameras were searching for you, but they couldn't find you. I have you hidden too well. I kidnapped you.
Sister Location still firmly believes that less is more. Just look at the screen. Yeah, it's kind of dark here. For different reasons each time, and the anticipation of what's going to happen next is what's going to fuck your nerves over something fierce. I hate it because I know what's going to happen. This game only has one method of scaring you, the jump scare, but you can never really prepare for it. Scroll back up, you pussy! The objectives are simple. Borderline shallow if you look past all the horror, but because you're so wound up, hoping to God you don't screw up, knowing what that means in the end, you find yourself screwing up anyway, and that's what makes it work.
Sister Location thrives in its immersive atmosphere, and sound is also once again a big element of this game. You gotta have those headphones on to know when's the proper time to move safely away from Ballora, or when Funtime Freddy is homing in on your location when restoring power to the grid. When you're not stuck in the pitch black, your working environment is there to repeatedly remind you of its cold and sterile presence. It makes you uneasy, if not for the unknown whirling sounds you hear in the distance, then because it reminds you of your 9-to-5 job on your day off, and fuck that.
The ambience is great. It's what makes this idea, the concept, the whole series work out. If you're looking to get your pants shat on, you're disgusting, first off, but I think there's nothing wrong with starting with Sister Location. I'm sure it ties into the other games in some fashion that I'm not aware of without watching a game theory video, but I think it's self-contained for the most part. You don't have to spruce up on your research just for the sake of getting a scare. A positive thing in my case, because I don't feel like reading The Silver Eyes, which supposedly has ties to this game.
Can I just say one thing real quick? Fuck Night 4 in general.
Wait, why?
Night 4 and that damn minigame with Baby. A lot of people hated this shit, and Scott ended up patching the game to make this night less difficult, but it's still damn difficult. Every time I'm close to beating it, I'm not. It lasts 3 minutes, I get to 10 seconds remaining, and then every time, same shit. And this minigame, getting everything right is a pain in the ass. These kids can go fuck themselves. Their placements are so frustrating to feed them cupcakes to. I did it eventually, but it took me nearly an hour to do because of mistimed jumps, shooting my cupcakes too early, or getting a cupcake I didn't need at the moment. I'm looking at you, you green piece of shit.
Well, platformers were never really your forte to begin with, so...
Fuck off, John!
Okay, we're ranting about cupcakes now, so let's wrap this up.
I mean, I love this game, but I'm also a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, so it kinda goes without saying. Thing is, I don't think there's a good enough reason on why this game would convince uncertain or uninterested gamers to give the series a shot if they weren't sold on the idea beforehand. Sister Location is filled with scares, great ambience, and unforgettable tension, but so are the other games for very similar reasons. At least the games are cheap, so you're not breaking your bank in half just by trying them out. And I think you should try them out. They're all great games for this time of the year. And like FNAF 4, Sister Location is also getting some eventual DLC, Custom Night, to make your experience an even more terrifying one. It's coming this December.
No, it's not.
Wait,
It's not.
alright, you're being a real little shit.
Kudos for giving the formula some variation. I firmly believe if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the rate these games were being released, shit could have gotten stale extremely fast. Again, this is the 5th game in 2 years. It's good to see them change things up while still retaining the same sense of dread, emptiness, and the jump scare.
I thought you said there would be no jump scares, you dick.
We're beginning our Let's Play of this over at our Let's Play channel this coming weekend, so you can tune into that if you want to feel more immersed in the game, if you lack the courage to play it yourself.
Well, boy, if that isn't the popcorn to kettle
I
black.
sat through 4 of these fucking games with you. I've either toughened up myself, or I'm drained of all emotion. I like to thank the former. Thank you very much.
You're such a bitch.
Thanks for the no one, fucker!
What are you doing after this, by the way?
It's good to go back to Sonic.
Now that's terrifying.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Rest in peace, comment section. Have a happy Halloween.